So I finally got around to watching Amazon Prime's Tomorrow War, starring Chris Pratt and J.K. Simmons. Now, I know this movie came out over a month ago by this point, and I do actually have a good excuse this time. Unlike something like Boss Baby 2, Escape Room 2, and Snake Eyes, which I will be getting to soon, and those two I'll be getting to soon, and I just got around to Boss Baby 2, was those ones I was just kind of either putting off, or I haven't gotten around to watching yet. This one, my Amazon Prime account was having some serious issues. I don't even know what the issues were, but for some reason my Prime subscription was having issues, but it finally started working again, so I was finally able to sit down and watch the damn movie. And reading early reviews, it seems like most people, the reviews are like basically like split right down the middle, and it's like you either love it or hate it. And that's what I've been seeing the general consensus is you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Me, I actually really liked this movie. I really did. It had a lot of great stuff going for it. It had some stuff that feels a bit derivative at times, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I want to talk about a lot of the good stuff in here, because there are a lot of good stuff in this movie. First off, Chris Pratt is one of my favorite actors out there, and unlike someone like Will Smith, who can play a comedic badass, but can't really play like a stoic, hardened, like ex-military type. I don't buy Will Smith as like an ex-military type, like he was trying to play in Suicide Squad or in After Earth. Chris Pratt, I actually buy as a previous, I guess, war veteran. I buy him like as I don't know what his rank was. I don't think they said his rank, but as a military man, I buy him as a military leader. Will Smith, he can play a comedic badass, like I said, like something like Independence Day, and Chris Pratt can play a comedic badass as well, something like Guardians of the Galaxy proved that. But Chris Pratt can also do a more serious type of role like this film, and Will Smith, he can do serious roles, but not when it comes to roles like this. So that gives you an idea right there. So Chris Pratt does really well with this role. He has a great performance, and he has... And probably the only other actor you'll recognize in this film is J.K. Simmons, who plays his father. And very well, might I add. I like the family dynamic that goes on throughout this film, where the father basically abandoned him when he was younger, which is a cliche at this point, but they do something interesting with it later on, which I'll get to in a bit. This will contain spoilers, because this movie's been out for over a month now, so if you haven't seen the movie, if you want to see the movie and you haven't, you have no excuse. Just go watch it. So I like the family dynamic to where that he ended up leaving Pratt and his mother when he was a kid, and then it's revealed later on that Pratt ended up leaving his wife and daughter a few years later from where they're at now. I thought that was a really interesting idea. And they did do something with it, where he meets his daughter in the future when all these people jump back from the year 2051 to get help from the people in 2023. That's something I don't really get. Why would you jump all the way back to 2023 when they have less developed technology to fight these big alien things? I don't get it. Why would you not jump back just to like 2040 something, like right before they showed up, where you could have better weapons? I don't, or possibly more advanced tech. I don't know, just why that far back? I don't get it, but that's not really that's not really the point I'm making here. The general, or the colonel, I guess, is revealed to be Pratt's daughter. And she reveals what happened to him, and that everybody being sent up, like everybody who qualifies to go on this mission, dies before 2051 to avoid some kind of time paradox. Which is actually a pretty interesting idea. I really like that concept, and it's revealed that Pratt's character dies in 2030 in a car accident, which, of course, it's always a car accident. Like, the second they showed the death certificate in 2030, the first thing that popped in my head was, it's gonna be a car accident, I guarantee it. It always is. I don't get it. I know that is a very common cause of death, but come on, can you get a little creative? And it's revealed that a few years before that, he had left his wife and daughter. I don't remember basically anybody's character's name. Dan. Pratt's character's Dan. That's Dan Forrester. I remember it now. That's, 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 Dan Forr That's his name. So Dan is chosen for this mission. He goes off and teams up with his older daughter now. His daughter's, like, 36 now, I want to say. No. 30. She's in her, like, late 30s or something. She's around the age that Dan would be by this point. So, and they go off to fight these aliens that have, essentially, that are wreaking havoc upon the world and have basically wiped out the entire human race. And I think they're down to about 500,000 people left in the world. And these aliens look ridiculous. I don't know who the female queen, I guess it's like the queen or something, I don't know, but the female one looks pretty badass. It really does. It looks cool. It has some extra design features to it. I really like it. But the male ones, which take up pretty much the entire population of these aliens, just look so bland and generic. You know the aliens from Signs? You know, just big, tall, white, naked for some reason. Just those kind of aliens. The ones that look like Slenderman, just with a face. Imagine they're dogs. Imagine if those aliens had dogs. That's what these things are. Essentially. They're really boring. They don't look that great. The fight scenes that come out of it are pretty cool. And I do like that they're not just like dog aliens or something. They have these like kind of spiked things that they can throw out of their tail or out of their hand, kind of like Scorpion from Spider-Man or Vulture. Vulture is probably more accurate, but you get my point. Like they can throw these little spike things. It's pretty cool. And like I said, the fight scenes that come out of this are fairly well done. I think the first one started out a little boring as it was people running downstairs shooting at these things. But once it gets outside, it gets pretty exciting. And I had a feeling pretty much everybody on the team was going to die at some point. I didn't expect pretty much almost the entirety of the team to die on the first mission. Leaving, I want to say 3 people left. Dan, this guy named Charlie, and this other black dude, I can't remember his name. The guy who has, like, one of their claws around his neck as he says, as a reminder, since he was among the first people to go. So, and this would be his 3rd trip there. So, and the people that are there are only sent there for a week, and if they survive that, they come back, which I thought was kind of cool, and some people go multiple times, which, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I like the way the movie was resolved. It didn't try to pull, because they create this toxin in the future that would be able to basically wipe out all of the aliens. And so, what they need to do, they bring it back to 2023. And they end up trying to mass produce it, and they try to find the origin of the aliens. And they end up finding it in this kind of glacier, in this huge glacier in Russia, I want to say. I think it was in Russia. And they find the alien ship. But this does create one huge question. 2, actually. Where are these aliens from? They don't explain what the aliens exactly are, or why they're there. I guess it does say that they, like, crash landed here, I guess. It looked like it was a crash site. So, Earth probably might not have been their destination, which is, again, a cool idea. Something you don't really see in alien movies. Normally, it's just, they want to take over Earth. But why here? We have nothing that they want. But in this movie, it is heavily implied that Earth was not their designated target, and they crashed here. That's actually pretty interesting. And I do like the final fight of this film, where they start injecting toxins into these aliens that are in, like, this little cocoon type of things. It's kind of hard to figure out what these are. But that does lead me to my one, like, actual problem with this film, is that it feels heavily derivative of films like Aliens, The Tomorrow War, or not The Tomorrow, fucking hell, this is The Tomorrow War, Edge of Tomorrow, Aliens, and there was another time-traveling movie that was, I can't think of the other one, but it feels, Terminator, duh. It feels heavily derivative of Terminator, of Predator, Aliens. It's like a lot of these 80s action movies, very good 80s action movies, though, but it just feels heavily derivative of all of them. People coming back from the future to fight a threat from where they're currently in the future. Like these aliens that look basically kind of like white xenomorphs. Like, not really, like, again, imagine if xenomorphs had dogs. This was what they would look like. They look like white versions of the demo dogs from Stranger Things. But, honestly, these things look better. So, and I like how the fight, and I like the climax with Dan and his father fighting off the Queen. Because if the Queen escapes, they're screwed. It starts no matter what, because they can't let it, of course, like, lay eggs or however these things reproduce. I'm not really sure. But they end up fighting it, and it's a pretty cool fight scene, I'm not gonna lie. And I expected one of these people to die. When the movie started, I had a feeling, I said out loud, I'm like, I have a feeling they might go the Extraction route. You remember that movie from last year with Chris Hemsworth? That they might kill off the main character here. And then at the final fight, I'm like, oh, no, the dad's a goner. I'm calling it the dad's a goner. But no, they both survive, which I'm actually okay with. So I like the fight scenes. I like the family dramas that they put into this. Normally, I can't stand the family dramas in action films like this because it's always the same thing. And here it is kind of the same thing, but they actually do it very well with great performances and a twist on a lot of some of these other ideas. Like, for example, like I said, the father abandoning Dan when he was a kid. We've seen that in countless movies, but it makes it more interesting when Dan would have ended up leaving his wife and daughter just a few years down the road himself, but was stopped by meeting his daughter in the future and finding all this out, and seeing his daughter die in the future. So I really like this movie. I can't really say too much about it because, again, it is kind of just one of these action movies, but it's a really good one. If you haven't seen it already, I would highly recommend you check it out. I am on the side, like, if people say you either love it or hate it, I'm on the former side. I really liked this film. I thought it was a cool action movie. It had a lot of great moments to it. So I'm going to give The Tomorrow War a 4.2 out of 5. Way higher than I was expecting. And I'm glad I'm glad I didn't do what I did with No Remorse, where I'm like, I was planning to watch it for so long, and I'm like, you know what, forget it, I really don't care. And it got to a point where I kept putting that movie off, to the point where I'm like, I don't care about this movie anymore. I'm like, there's other movies I gotta watch, so I'm glad I didn't skip over this one. I'm glad I watched it, and I really enjoyed it, and I think you will too if you're a fan of action movies like this. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button down below, hit the subscribe button for more reviews like this, and comment down below if you have any interest in seeing The Tomorrow War, and if you have, what'd you think of it? Did you like it like I did? Did you hate it? And if so, let me know why. So that's all I got, and I'll see you next time. Bye.